Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about the Numenera WUBRG campaign, Season 1. And at this point, Blackout is leaving the area of the Brambles, which is forest. He started in the mountainous area, where he did not see any clefts, who generally live there. He then went to to the forested area, and he met the Brambles, and he made allies of the Brambles. And then he asked them, he said, hey, I want to go and I want to talk to the awakened animals. And they said, you want to go see the Servan, who are the awakened deer animals, right? So they're, bipedal, exact humanoid size, 2 arms, 2 legs, stand upright, but they're deer themed, right? And they said, you're going to go see the Servan. The Servan are very wise and they're peaceful and they're friends to everyone. But to get there, you have to go through the Corvum area, and so just so you're aware, they are awakened animals who are ravens, and they can fly 6 feet tall, 2 arms, 2 legs, but they also have wings, and actually their hands are at the ends of their wings, right? So that's how they roll. But they said, you're going to go into the Corvum area, and the Corvum are going to try to kill you. All right. So Blackout goes all his supplies are fully refreshed, and he goes into the plains area, and the plains are quite beautiful. And one of the things I'm doing for this campaign is whenever I need to show what the terrain looks like, I just pull up Scryfall and I look for all the art that is in Magic the Gathering plains, right? So those are all Dungeons & Dragons resources, because Dungeons & Dragons is canon to Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is canon to Dungeons & Dragons, right? So I got a piece of art to depict for the player, and kind of give them an idea, of what it looked like. And it had beautiful rolling plains, and then these rocks that had water that would kind of rain down. Your area is like this. It looks like this, right? And so basically the Corvum live in these floating rock mesas, right? Like above, right? In the plains. And so at this point, he's trying to, I said, are you actually going to crawl through the grass to try to hide, or are you just going to walk through? Because you've been warned, right? The Corvum will kill you for entering into their area. So he says, I'm not going to crawl through the grass, but I'm going to try to maybe stay toward the river to hide my sound, right? So he does this, and so he travels for about a day, and then he is attacked by a Corvum that comes right out of the sky and says, hey, whatever living creature you are, you're not permission to be here. You need to immediately turn around and leave, or we will kill you, or I will kill you, right? And so at this point, so his character, Blackout, is a clever jack who moves like a cat. And he has very high persuasion, right? So he's trained in persuasion. Also, being trained in Numenera is a big deal. It lowers the, if your target number is a 15, it lowers it by 3, and it goes to 12. And then he could spend another effort, and that's going to go down to 9. Right? You hit 9 or 6, you're most likely going to get, going to hit that number, right? And so he can get these numbers down, right? And so at this point, he attempts to persuade the Corvin to talk. And so he does. The Corvin comes down, has a conversation with him. And then he's like, and the Corvin's like, I've never seen a creature like you. What the heck are you? And he's like, well, I'm traveling. I don't really know who I am. I'm trying to learn about this world, and I'm trying to learn about myself. And then the Corvin, and he says, and I would like to meet, your tribe, right? And so then he uses the same cipher that he used to defeat the cyber snake. He uses that cipher again to fly. And so he flies up to the rocky area where the Corvum live, okay? And what's interesting is at this point, it's a complete repeat of everything that happened with the Brambles, right? As soon as he's able to talk to the Ravens, he makes allies with them, and he successfully avoided combat, right? He meets the Raven Queen, and they talk, and they pretty much has exactly the same conversation that he had with the Bramble. And they tell him all about all the same species, but they also tell him about the visc and the smoke. So he now knows about all five. He is aware of all five living sentient species in the ninth age, right? And so he makes allies with them. And at that point, he says, "Listen, I'm on my way to see the Servant, and can you point me in the right direction?" So they do exactly what the Bramble did, and they point him in in the right direction, and they take him to the edge of the plains area, the Corvum plains area, and now he's about to go into the Servant plains area and meet the Servant, and we'll cut it off there. As Keenan Thompson said, and we cut it off there. If you haven't seen that SNL skit, definitely check it out. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion about the Numenera system for running a campaign. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.